Take it. Sit. Take it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Decisive Squirrel Homestead. It is the end of July, and we have broken every record. It is the hottest summer ever that we've had here. It's the hottest July ever, the driest, I think, the entire summer. The driest summer, definitely the driest July, but we got rain yesterday. We were so excited. We ran outside and stood in the rain. An actual measurable amount, like the ground is still wet this morning. I think it was just over this very small area of town. I know there are other people nearby who did not get rain, so we were very, very excited for that. Just any little bit helps. And it's only 82 degrees this morning, which is new and different, sadly. So I wanted to come out here and do just a quick little morning update. Three Rivers Homestead on YouTube is doing the Every Bit Counts challenge, where the goal is to put away some amount of food every day. And it's really the wrong time of year for that for us. If we're gonna do that, we ought to do that in May or maybe June. This is getting too late, but we do have a few things, and we do basically try to put away some food every day. So whether that's from the garden, so I have some eggs in the freeze dryer right now, or our okra that we collect and fry and put away in the freezer, or canning purple whole peas, or whether it's something that we get from the store or a farmer's market or something like that, where we find a good deal on strawberries or peaches and we put those away. We do a lot of that, but we do a lot of it earlier in the year. And so we have some of that we can put up and participate in this challenge. But also I was thinking, you know, when it's this hot and we cannot stay out and work all day in the garden, it also, every little bit counts with doing garden work. And so I wanted to show a few projects that we've worked on a little bit at a time, because when we can't be out for 5 hours straight, coming out for 30 minutes or an hour and just doing part of a job also counts. Doing the little bit at a time adds up, and before you know it, you're ready for a fall garden. So let's check out a few things that we've been working on over the last week. So first up, our corn patch here has been cleared out. We actually did do this all at once, but Josh and I worked together and it went pretty quick, and we did it at a time when this was in the shade. We were going to pull this out completely, and then we got to thinking, you know what, this ground, the soil needs to be improved, and it just had corn in it, which is a heavy feeder, and maybe it would be a good idea to try to do a fall run of green beans here. We didn't get very many green beans this year. We had some for fresh eating, and that was it. I didn't can any. It just got too hot too fast, and they just didn't do well. So we have this weed barrier down already. We have holes in the weed barrier at a pretty good interval for green beans. So we can insert a picture of what this looked like before we cleared it out. But we did a lot of work here, got this cleared, and the ground was so dry and so hard that I was worried about how we were going to get it planted. But now that the rain has come, that's given us a head start. And so I think I'm going to be able to come out here and water short bits of time. So we'll water like 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, and let that water soak into the ground and get that ready to go, so I can plant green beans in here and hopefully get a fall run of green beans. We haven't had a lot of luck with that in the past, but the weather's so weird this year that I'm hoping it works out and we don't get an early freeze or something like that. Our first frost date is not until November, so we have time to grow more things here. The other big project that I'm really quite proud of is I finally cleared out these asparagus beds, and this was something I did over, I think, like 3 different sessions. I came out here, I stole the canopy from the chickens because they were under shade, and I gave myself a little bit of shade over here, and I cleared out these beds. Again, we can insert a clip of what they looked like before. This was quite a bit of work because I couldn't just pull everything out because I didn't want to pull out the asparagus crowns. So I had to be kind of careful about it and pull things out so that I left the asparagus crowns behind. And we had been letting, and you can see this is happening again, so these asparagus crowns that have shot up and they're starting to fern out, we've been letting them do that so that they will grow a better root system. So we have not actually been collecting asparagus to eat. But you can see my little flags with they're bamboo skewers with duct tape because that's what I had on hand and didn't have to buy anything. So I marked where all of the living asparagus crowns are. And you can see we have asparagus coming up. I think pretty soon here, later this year for sure, we'll be able to start collecting asparagus to eat without overtaxing the crown. So that is exciting. We're gonna have a new crop, and asparagus is perennial, so we don't have to keep planting it. Also, our asparagus ferns, I don't see any laying around. Oh, here are some. So asparagus ferns, there are males and females, and we had some females come up, and they have these berries that grow. They start out red. Here's one that's still kind of red. One's more orange, but they start out red, and then as the fern dries up, these berries fall down, and this is the seed. So I'm not purposely doing anything about it, but I did make sure all of those berries stayed in the bed. So if that seed germinates and grows more asparagus, great, that would be wonderful. So these beds are all cleaned out. I made sure they're wicking beds, so the bottom fills with water and then wicks up from the bottom. That generally helps prevent weeds, but you do still have to weed a little bit, obviously, or we wouldn't have gotten into this situation. But I filled up the bottom of the bed with water, made sure they were draining well, and got all of these cleared out. So that was a several day project, but now it's done. Chickens have things to say this morning. I also cleared out this herb bed. So the mint had started to die back. That's going to come back. So I just got all of the dead branches and leaves, not all of the leaves, but all of the big stuff that was taking up space out of there. I've also started pulling out the old purple whole pea plants. So you can see there's still plenty on this row, but there are some holes now, and that's where I've gone through. And as I've noticed a plant where the leaves are dying or they have rust on the leaves, I've started pulling those out. So just a little bit at a time. So 2 or 3 plants when I'm out here watering, not a big project to pull this out all at once. They are still producing peas, just not nearly as much as they were. So that is another job that just a little bit at a time is eventually making progress. We did find another watermelon growing. We picked our first 2 watermelons, and I guess the plant decided, hey, I need to put out more fruit. So we have another watermelon growing here. Hopefully that one gets ripe and does well without getting eaten by the bugs. It's kind of out in the open here. The other ones were more hidden, but that's exciting. In case you missed the earlier videos, we didn't plant watermelon this year. This came up on its own, and it turns out it's a yellow flesh watermelon. So it grew on neglect. We didn't do anything with it. Tastes really good. So we saved the seed from the first watermelon we cut open. Definitely gonna plant those again. But that watermelon vine has done really well, especially for something that we didn't actually plant. And the last thing we've been working on recently is clearing out all of the weeds around these berry vines. I realize they don't look super cleared out, but if you've seen earlier videos, we have definitely made progress. I need to do a little bit more, and I need to mulch around here. But our blackberry vines are looking much happier. We have some raspberry vine down here that has some space now. And we cleared up these dewberry vines. So dewberry vines grow wild around here. They don't need any input from us, but they will take over. And they'll grow a huge hedge that you can't even get to the middle of to pick berries. So I came through here and I found where the vines actually come out of the ground and made sure that I kept them to one area and didn't let them take over the other berry vines next to them. And you can probably see here behind me, those are my new purple hull pea plants that I planted, I'm not even sure, 3 weeks ago maybe. So that's my second round. Those will produce into the fall. So those are the things we've been working on this week. That's about a week's worth of work because again, we only stay out for maybe an hour at a time. We come out in the morning when it's not quite hot yet. Usually at this time of day it's 90 or 95 already. Right now it's only 82, I think, so this is kind of pleasant. And then in the evening, once the sun goes down, so like 7 o'clock at night, we come out and we water and we might do a few small things. So just like with preserving food, garden work, every bit counts. So you can do a little bit at a time and accomplish big goals. You don't have to have the time or the energy or the weather to sit out for 5 hours straight and do something. Just doing a little bit gets it done eventually. So I hope y'all are having a great time. Check out the Every Bit Counts challenge on Three Rivers Homestead. She's got a great channel, good ideas. She also does the pantry challenge at the beginning of the year to use up all of the food that you've put away so that you get your pantry emptied out before spring and summer comes and you fill it up again, which is also a good idea just to make sure that you're not leaving things in the pantry too long so that they get old or the seals on your jars go bad and then you lose all the food that you spent so much effort and time to put up. So check out her channel and we will see y'all later. Bye.